Hello dear friends, I'm glad to welcome everyone watching Sotnik-TV this moment. We are streaming live, it's October 12th, 2019, 7 p.m. in Moscow, so we're on time. As always, we'll discuss the main events of the week with you live on Sotnik-TV channel. As you may recall, I have supposed and told that several times, a fierce campaign on removing the death penalty moratorium starts in Russia. Yet Sergei Peskov's words about Kremlin not considering the moratorium cancellation are some indirect confirmation of such intentions. As everything Putin or Peskov say needs to be interpreted exactly the opposite way. Once Putin or Peskov declare they won't do something or something will never happen, that's exactly what they do or what happens as a result. Chekists require firing squads. The fear in the air is not what they need now. They need to pump the atmosphere with horror, with some bone-chilling horror that would make people's hair move everywhere, so that people have their eyes popped out and their mouth shut, to have their words stuck inside their throat, tied with that horror, for the people not to even dare, having your will and thoughts paralyzed. That's what they need. Keep in mind that they won't just return the death penalty for pedophiles. They say that the grandson of Yevgeny Primakov has already detected the future victims. Those punished with the penalty will include terrorists. The main pedophile has been sitting in Kremlin, and the main target is the so-called fifth column, the political ones, all those opposing to the regime. Those will be declared state traitors and terrorists. Those will be named extremists. And an extremist almost equals to terrorist, opposing the government and terrorizing the authorities. That is not a simple claim, but a solid plan. The plan of action they are moving to means totalitarianism returning to Russia. Some totalitarian dictatorship is where the Putinists are leading the country now. They have no other option than turning to the totalitarian dictatorship. They need to shut everything urgently, not to allow any single beeping inside the cave. Here's a letter from Semyon from the city of Novosibirsk. I've been watching your channel for the 4th year and can't help thinking of Russia as of Titanic moving towards the iceberg. With the accident being unavoidable now, I assume that the long-sought economical crisis will simply bring the hydrocarbon prices down, and further alternative energy sources implemented by the West will have Russian pseudo-economy dead. We won't be able to create anything unique, as all the human and natural resources were dumped for many years ahead. Degrading and further poverty expect for Russia. It's a shame so few people realize so obvious things. Yet the die was cast back in 1999. The majority of the population is not ready to realize that as well as to change anything. I feel sorry for the country and for our children. My question is, Alexander, don't you feel that the current economical and political worsening is provoked by the regime in order to spread chaos inside the country to be able to steal those billions of dollars of profit transferred to the West? End of quote. Dear Semyon, thank you for the letter. First of all, I'm afraid that the recent years' events logics leaves no doubt that Russia will definitely repeat the destiny of the USSR. Yet now, that will get several times worse. There won't be no chance to reform at the state. Russia has already entered the period of a long time rotting under the banner of the great chief Putin. When that period ends, everything will collapse. That will probably follow his death. They will talk about an attempt of new perestroika, of course, but that will fail due to many reasons. First of all, no one wants to go through that mental house called Russia one more time. No one believes that is possible now, as they already have for the first time. That story seems to have no end, and everyone knows that. And outside the country, no one will believe new authorities of Russia. They will say, no, we won't provide you with any more food. You finish what you've sucked in that cave of yours, roaring. Dear Soviets, please be so kind to finally die. Do what was meant for you in the 90s of the past century. We felt sorry for you back then. We fed and took care of you. And when you grew some wool, you got back to your former power and to your former cave insolence. So we won't show no mercy this time. Die forever. That's why there won't be no stealing. As long as Putin is alive, that gang will rule. But then, that will be over. The West will arrest those funds. Then that will go to the countries where that was arrested. To the US, Canada, Switzerland, Germany, Britain, you name it. And the Putinists will be hunted. Not all of them, but many will be wanted by Interpol. Many countries will convict them in crimes. If Sergei Raldugin remains alive, he will sure be wanted, as well as Vyacheslav Volodin. Some will be wanted by Ukraine, others by the USA or by Spain. Nowadays they are convincing our oligarch hippo, Mikhail Friedman, in racketeering in Spain. Can you imagine that? They want to put him to prison or to arrest his billions at least. That is what's going to happen to the rest of Putinists in the future. The money will be taken away from many. The former Chelyabinsk region governor, Mr. Dubrovsky, was such a powerful guy, being one of the highly paid top managers in the country. What a man! What a bright head! What an array! What a brilliant mind! Now accused in Russia for stealing 20 billion rubles. What a surprise! He used to be the biggest patriot ever and the sincerest Putinist. Then it turned out he had bank accounts and some real estate in Switzerland. Look at Andrei Klishas, the lawmaker opposing to the internet. He has some real estate in Switzerland. Can you imagine that? Of course he has tons of that in Russia. But there's some more in Switzerland. So once he started suspecting problems coming, that Mr. Dubrovsky departed to the damned West. Yet the patriot didn't move to the Switzerland. He ran to the UK, as there's no extradition from there, and there is from Switzerland. Still they will bleed him dry though. His story is the example of how they will hunt for Putinists after Putinism crashes. Deep inside their souls, they hope the USSR story repeats itself. Once the country is gone, all the questions are gone as well. But that won't happen. They won't set foot in the same river twice. There will be questions, but not from the dead empire. that won't care for no questions then, that will be divided into parts rapidly. There will be some sharp breakup followed by sovereignty parade. But the questions will come from the rest of the countries. From those countries where the Putinists will have crapped a lot by that time. Those countries will get them. And those countries will take the guts out of Putinists. Thank you for watching Sotnik-TV. Thank you for your reaction, for your care and for your thoughts. As always, despite the events ongoing in the country, despite everything that is about to happen, despite the barbarizing level you're being literally dragged to by those inhuman Kremlin scums, still you need to remain humans, and to remember that. Take care of yourselves, of your hearts and souls, of your loved ones. Take care of that human inside you. Watch Sotnik TV. We'll meet live in 1 week. Goodbye.